What's going on, gamers and goons? My name is Luke Collins. This is my co-host,
Zach Healy.
And we are excited to bring you today a special little episode. We're going to do a little bit of reflection today with our advisor, Raleigh Davis, and our president, Corey Johnson.
How's it going?
What's going on, guys?
Thanks for coming on the show, y'all.
I appreciate it. Appreciate
you guys having me again.
Yeah, of course. 2 weeks in a row, I think, right? I think the last trip was definitely you.
Definitely last week.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Last week.
I'm just glad to be in front of the camera this time, trying to keep the boat pointing in the right direction.
Thank you. Thank goodness.
Of course.
We're always on topic. I don't know what you're talking about.
For sure.
So we wanted to do a little reflection today.
Gotcha.
We have won 2 championships, which we're so excited about. This is Rocket League's second championship through GG
Huge.
League.
Back-to-back boats.
Yes, back-to-back boats.
boats.
We love that.
And Valorant's first.
Yep.
Yeah.
So congrats to Corey and his team for
Thank
that.
you.
Good job, Corey. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it.
We're really excited to make that happen. I mean, you guys worked really hard for it, and we are so excited that we got 2 chips. All right, so Raleigh, what is up next for this program? I mean, we've only got 3 weeks left of school, and then we got the summer, and we'll be back in the fall, but you won't be with us.
I will not. Yep.
So,
after the championships, our season dies down quite a bit. We have a couple of tournaments some of our teams are playing in. Rocket League's got some tournaments. Super Smash Bros. Has some tournaments. But our schedule's definitely relaxed quite a bit. We'll do some casual stuff just here and there, pop-in events, that kind of thing. We will do an awards ceremony in the coming weeks, pretty close to finals, so keep your eye out for that form. That'll be a fun time, just real, casual event.
For sure.
Kind of recognize some of the heroes of the program and that. But really, our semester's coming to a close, 3 more weeks. We want to give you guys the space for finals and stuff, so we're not going to jam-pack you with a bunch more stuff to do. That's basically it. And then into the summer, we'll be kind of promoting teams to practice together and play new games and just, keep grinding on anything you're grinding on, really. But other than that, it's pretty lax over the summer. And then we'll just, whoever's here will come back kicking in the fall.
Yeah, sounds good. Awesome. So, Corey, now that Raleigh is going to be taking off, we're going to have a little bit of a lull in leadership. How do you, at the minimum, it sounds like from what I know, we're going to have to be just covering the summer. But how do you anticipate to at least shift this leadership and guide whoever fills Raleigh's position?
Yeah, so, I mean, since I've been around since the program started, I've kind of known how Raleigh handled things from, going from semester to summer. He's tried to get things going in the summer. It's kind of tough, not going to lie, because everyone goes out and, they're back at home doing their family things. And it's hard to get everyone, enough people interactive, very active during the summer as well. So my goal is probably going to be trying to focus for the next semester. And one of the bigger things that I want to do is get us involved in Engage 8 at the beginning of the year. I feel that would be really great, a chance for a lot of new people coming to SEMO, get to learn about the program. Along with that, I want to continue having our teams play together over the summer if they can. I know the arena will be open for competitive players, so be sure to, come through and practice if you guys need to. But if you do have that home setup, it'd be great to have everyone still play over the summer.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Engage in 8, for those of you freshmen, you kind of got a different view because of COVID-19. But Engage in 8 is typically a huge thing. For the first 2 weeks of campus, I mean, it is looks completely different than the rest of the year. There's a lot of energy on the campus and all that. So I think that's a great vision, and that's a great focus for you to head into Engage in 8, because you're going to get a lot of people in here. And I don't know what that looks like yet, whether we do tournaments or anything like that. But it'd be really exciting to see that.
I have a couple ideas, but I'll put that on Discord for everyone later on.
And what's tough too is we missed the first Engage in 8 when the arena opened, because we didn't technically open until September, and so we weren't fully operational in order to capitalize on that. And then the second year, COVID hit, and so I think we took part in one event, but it was no more than 10 people in the room. It was super tight on COVID, and so we've really missed out on both Engage in 8s that we've been operational. So Corey and the new director will have the first Engage in 8 that we're able to actually capitalize on, and that could be really, really huge for the program. So I'm excited to see that that's already on their minds moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you guys are interested in helping or anything like that, Corey should contact. You know who it is?
For sure.
It is.
So obviously missing Engage in 8 was a big detriment for the program for sure. But managers deal with a lot of other things on the daily that are issues for the program. Is there anything that the common man really doesn't see that you think would be interesting to kind of reveal?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, if we're getting into the nitty gritty, kind of reflecting on the program, there's definitely been a lot of stuff that I've had to deal with and that the management team has had to put up with, just to kind of keep that program turning, keep it moving forward. Definitely just overall issues with like the PCs and the internet and stuff. I know if you guys probably remember, we probably had like 3 or 4 PCs just like for no reason just boom and blow up, which is super tough. So we basically have been like out of commission at least 1 PC since we started. So that was just a hindrance, always having 13 instead of 14 PCs, that kind of thing. The internet, has been an issue for us. It's being addressed up, way above my head. They've heard our complaints, which has been great. We've been constantly, every time we have an issue, we address it. And so that's been annoying on our side, but like it is being heard up top, which is great. And so that's something that's being addressed. Just dealing with being a student program, essentially. I'm the only paid position, but in reality, like I don't have the power. I don't have a lot of weight or pull to throw around. And so trying to get things accomplished has to go through 4 or 5 steps above my head, and I have to ask for permission every time. And so that was really hard. Is anything that I wanted to do had to be approved at least 3 times, which was just like made it so tough. And so, from the club's perspective, it was just like, oh, this dude Raleigh is never on top of his stuff. He's taking forever to turn these things around. But it's like, realistically, I'm like, the day we asked for it, we put it in. It's not in my power to just confirm it, kind of thing. And so that was pretty tough. Dealing just with differing opinions is always a hard thing to handle when you don't have like an authority figure to just say, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. When you have that evil playing field of like a student coach telling a student what to do, or me telling a student what to do, at the end of the day, you don't have that obvious power discrepancy. And so that was hard for a lot of issues. It's just like players trying to tell coaches what to do, coaches trying to tell players what to do, and dealing with that internal drama. At the end of the day, they both want what's best for the club. They both want the club to succeed. Nobody's out here sabotaging the program, I don't think, but it's just those differing opinions on how that should operate. Several instances of that were annoying to deal with, but we got through them. We grew off of those, and so I think that was a lot of it.
Yeah, ultimately, not to interrupt you, but like I think that's to some degree a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I've been in organizations where, you don't feel like you have an opinion, doesn't feel like you'd matter,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the fact that we are player-based and we don't have some guy at the top telling us exactly what to do, I
Mm-hmm.
think we have some advantages there. I'm not saying it's the best case scenario,
Yeah.
but I definitely think there are some positive.
For sure, and I definitely think every student's voice is heard in this program, regardless if we act on it. I'm definitely listening to the opinions. I know recently, one example like that we've been fighting with is what kind of mantra do we go after for our streams? I know it's been a lot of, do we stick with the goofiness? Do me and Zach dress up in Valorant cosplays?
Yeah.
Or do we, try and go serious and give that really analytical stuff? And so trying to match the crowd and trying to match our abilities and what we're able to do. A lot of those people saying, hey, we want this, hey, we want this, we hear them. And we're sitting here, us four especially are sitting here talking about those ideas. What should we do? What shouldn't we do? All of the time, right? Now, if that wasn't acted upon, that's, we chose otherwise, but we heard those opinions, right? And so I agree, like, it's definitely better than just having some dude being like, burn, 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 and do this. You're getting your voice heard, and at the end of the day, everybody's only, bringing up issues or bringing up ideas because they want the club to do better, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
What about you, Corey? Do you have anything like that you felt like we dealt with a lot more than what I've already mentioned?
I'm gonna be honest. The respect towards like supervisors as well. That's been an issue
Yeah.
that I know about. People just not listening to like the arena rules. That's something that we overcame. I would say over the couple years that we've been open. We still having issues with it every now and then, but it's definitely not as bad as it used to be. Because I remember when we first opened, people were downloading games off some sketchy sites. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah,
for sure.
So like, there's been like a whole group of issues that we've overcame, and some of them been tiny like that. Which I mean, it was like a 1 or 2 time occurrence. That
smack on the wrist kind of thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
but I definitely would say that as an overall, like the club has improved a lot from where it was, and that's because of the input that the members put in.
Exactly.
So I would definitely agree with what you said earlier.
And I think too, the thing about it, which is so tough, just off the rip, was none of my bosses knew what was going on, and they really just said, do what you know is best, right? And so I came into this just like, okay, I need to build a program. I need to start from the bat. Made the Discord server. I started hosting open night events. But a lot of the rules you see today and the way we operate and the way we check out gear and the way we run our teams came over iterations and iterations and revisions of what I just off the bat spat out, right?
Yep.
You know, like we didn't have arena rules off the ripski. I just assumed we shouldn't put food and drink on computers, which was a great assumption.
Yeah.
And so we stuck with that. But like,
Yep.
that was one of the only rules that I started with that probably still exists in its first form, right? Nowadays, you know, the way we check out gear is different. The way my team schedule practices is different. And so we've gotten better and better over each semester just from being like, wow, that sucked last semester. I hated the way we did that. Let's change it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's probably been the biggest struggle me personally is because each of these ideas I've been a part of each of these ideas and then seen them fail and have to be revised has been hard on me mentally, just seeing like, oh wow, nobody's doing that properly, or oh wow, nobody likes this idea, and it's like that's hard. But just knowing that eventually we've gotten to a better place each time over each iteration, to where every day we're getting a better step on. Like we could be doing this better and being more efficient.
All right. So in the context of all those challenges and all those things that we have kind of in the back of our heads, we're moving forward now. I mean,
Yep.
You're going to be gone. We mentioned that. We talked a little bit about the summer transition and what that's going to be like, transitioning from Raleigh's leadership to whoever fills that position, if we get a position, and all that. So this is kind of an open-ended question to you all. How are we going to grow in the future?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we did a great job maintaining and even growing over COVID. Obviously, our numbers were screaming pre-COVID. You know, we went from 0 to almost 400 off the bat. And the fact that we've gone from around 350 to 450 over COVID is still really impressive, just maintaining decent numbers, right? And so I have really high hopes for the rest of the program once COVID opens back up. It seems like classes are going back in person, Engage in 8's going in person, and so that leads me down the road to believe we should be pretty good to do a lot more stuff. So I think growth is going to be huge for the program. I know myself and the management team have done a lot of setup to where I have basically sown the seeds of a lot of different things on campus to where whoever takes over next, if they only pick up half of them, you guys will still be in a really good spot, right? So I set up the endowment scholarship. I've set up sponsorship opportunities with some of the staff to where they're going to start feeding those to us. I've set up the seeds for like journalism and mass media students to start working with our program. I've, a lot of stuff in the upper administration for pushing for a full-time position, pushing for a GA, pushing for gear replacement or, even more space on campus. We're setting the seeds for all those things to where eventually some of them are going to grow and they're going to help the program out in the future. So on my parting way, I'm emptying my pockets of all the seeds I've got, trying to get anything to land for you guys to where next semester at least half of that can be picked up on. But yeah, so I mean, Corey's really going to have more of an insight on what the program looks like and what kind of growth we're expecting.
On like a kind of like a competitive side of growth, I'd just like to point out the fact that like from I think last year to this school year, we lost like 3 competitive players and like 2 of them graduated, and 1 went semi-pro. So like,
yeah.
Ultimately, we're still doing really well in that player rotation. So I think as long as we keep growing our numbers and also retaining players how good we are, which obviously winning 2 championships does look pretty good to the other players.
For sure.
Just
for
saying. I think our retention will be pretty great going into next semester, which ultimately will help our numbers as well.
Yeah, and I mean that's in the context of like being a club that is solely student run. It is, I mean, we don't have any funding for scholarships or anything like that, and we're competing with teams that do. And so, I mean, ultimately there's 2 big columns of SEMO eSports, and that is competition and streaming and content. And so, I mean, Zach's our content guy. Like, what does content look like in the future for us?
I mean, I think the big thing is gonna be just trying to level up like our production value. Like we've been getting a lot of new gear, and I mean really just trying to pinpoint getting to, like Raleigh said, different audiences. So both the goofy side as well as like the more competitive focused players. I think trying to hit both of those is going to be like our new goal. And we've been experimenting with that with like League of Legends and Rocket League. But it's really going to be interesting to see like how we progress with that.
Yeah, and I mean that was a huge problem that I know that probably the community doesn't know a whole lot of, but that was a lot of that student input that we got from you all was that you guys wanted to see different things. Where sometimes it was more goofy. You guys wanted to see more competition or like the competitive side. You want to hear more statistics and analysis, and so that's been something you guys have really been struggling with this entire semester. And I think it really came out in the championships how we started to see like the what the future might look like, and the fact that we had both really good analysis and we had professionals like subs for the team come in and talk on those championships, but we also had good content guys there with them right alongside, so that you could almost have like an educational aspect while you're watching the game. So I think we really developed and matured there a lot. So I'm really excited to see that in the future. And then competitive wise, I mean, we're working towards it as well, and working towards those scholarships that Raleigh's kind of sown the seeds of. So ultimately, I think we've got a pretty decent vision of what you guys are going to be working on and how we're going to transition out of Raleigh's position.
For sure. And I think, the conversation between what's more important, right now, because we don't have scholarships, we operate based on what we get. You give what you get kind of thing. And so whatever students come to SEMO, and that's who we operate with and that's who we play with. And so my focus off the bat was never how do I compete at the highest level, because I just don't have – I'm not walking in with full ride scholarship to toss out to challenger level players, right? I'm playing with who I have, which is great, and we want to push them to be as best as they can and to grow and to develop. But the reason I pushed the club to focus on content was because that was something we could control, something we were allowed to put money into, and something that we could like objectively develop into a higher quality, right? And so while we're like developing our plays and practices, we were allowed to spend money on streaming gear and develop our content, and that was helping recruitment, in which in the administration's eyes, that was the biggest thing we were doing, was the recruitment that we offered kind of thing. And so not a lot of people know this, but like technically the recruitment we had in the first year from high schools based on their first year tuition paid for the arena in full, right?
Yeah, and that statistic, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, well, I kind of wanted to come and then I joined eSports,
it was
so my
like,
tuition counts. It is people who responded to a Google form and said, the only reason I came to SEMO was because of SEMO eSports.
Exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah, so that's something like we have to like acknowledge and like work towards, and so that's why content is so important for us, is because all these high schools that I'm working with and these middle schools, they're coming to our Twitch and they're watching our games consistently. And so if I can't physically go to them during COVID, they can come to my stream. We can talk to them. They can watch our teams play. They can get excited for that. And so until we get to the point where I have money to give out for scholarships, the best we're going to do with competitive is just get them in here, get them practicing, get them grinding, working as a team, that kind of thing, until we start doing that heavy recruitment. And so competitive will never take over content until that point, but they're both going to be pushed forward at equal rates, because Corey's got development on better development on the JV teams. That was something we struggled with, and I know a lot of people have had issues with, is because they're student-led, those students just don't have enough time in their day to play on their own team, practice with their own team, and then go coach a JV team. And so that's something going forward me and Corey have talked about addressing, is doubling up our manager staff to where we have varsity team managers and then JV team managers, right? And so that's already an easy way to address those issues. Content-wise, depending on next year's allocations, depending on some of the seeds I've sown on that, that's going to be doubled down really heavily for Zach and his team. I mean, Zach's team's almost quadrupled, though, just this semester. We went from having me and Zach, to me, Zach, and Jack, to us three plus some mods and stuff that rotate in and out. And so every aspect on both sides has doubled in size already. So that's a great sign to see moving forward.
But as we move forward, like next semester and stuff, since Raleigh won't be here, this man does a lot.
He
like
does,
low key, like the program doesn't really realize that he does a lot. He's in how many times do you stream a week?
Unless you want to, it's usually 4.
He's in all 4 streams.
So that means we have to find at least one person that can stream for each of those games.
For sure.
And I really doubt the next GA will probably have that ability, because that's not something that's really common.
That's not normal.
It's not normal. It's not normal
No
to
one's
be
as much of a
knowledgeable
gamer as
about
Raleigh.
that many games and be able to stream it and talk about
for
it.
sure.
So like looking forward to next semester, we'll probably have to recruit more people to stream. On top of that, we'll also have to get more people to cover his other things that he does around the arena, because he does a lot. Like you would be surprised. He does more than his 20 hours or 40 hours. easily.
So what a lot of people I don't think know, and I'm not trying to just brag about how great I am at this program. But I just want you guys to be ready for next semester. I don't want this to fall out because I'm not here, right? I want to prepare you guys as much as I can. And so literally starting tonight, every manager meeting until the end of school is just going over what I do and then who's going to take over that responsibility over the summer until the next GA steps in. Because we could get a just poo-poo stinky GA, right? And they don't know what to do and they don't know esports. And so you guys are going to have to pick up for that. And so as much as I'm telling you at the table, I'm telling you guys who are watching this, because it's so important for everybody to feel the weight of I have a responsibility to help this club get better and to carry a little bit of that weight. Even if it's, we called it, showing up and showing out, coming to a stream, I play games from the arena, I show up to practices, just little things are going to help carry that weight for everybody else. But the last year over COVID, I actually was only allowed to work less than 10 hours in the arena because I was working as a supervisor at the rec. And so anytime you saw me in here, most likely was just me being in here, having to work extra basically. And so luckily I've fought that, and I'm look, this is a big program. We need the hours here. And so we were able to get those hours to where I'm 20 hours this semester. The GA after me will be only 20 hours here. And so you'll have that availability. But like Corey mentioned, for a while, I was just in here because I liked you guys and I wanted the program to succeed kind of thing. I was not getting paid, which was tough. But yeah, I'm already in that process of passing down all these connections I have, all these little things here and there. Here's this, you need to do this. Here's this, you need to do this. We're already in that process. And so if you guys at home are looking to get involved, now is absolutely the time to do so. Even if it's in the smallest way possible, hey, I like to be on the chalk team. We don't do that very often. That's a super easy way to get involved. Hop on the chalk team. If you want to be a mod, hop on the mod team. Super easy ways to get involved. Now is absolutely the time to do so.
And with a growing esports globally growing esports global economy. I mean, we're effectively Raleigh's going into esports. That's his dream. That's what he's working towards in a professional capacity. If you are a mass media major, if you are a corporate communications major, I mean, we have spots for you in positions that you can fill. If you're broadcasting, if you're journalism, we have spots for you. If you are heck, I'm a political science major, and I was kind of pulled onto the team
because
of
that
as a major because I can provide advocacy on student government and I can talk to administration and things like that, and that's ultimately been my job aside from doing my journalism with the Chirp.
And that's what I really told everybody as they came on as managers was look, nobody's paid except me. Zach's now paid, but that's because he technically works for the rec, right? And so you're here because you want the club to succeed. You know this is your community, but I can help you very far volunteer wise, resume builders, letters of recommendation. This is such good experience that realistically not a lot of people have in esports, right? As I'm applying for these jobs, I'm realizing how few of opportunities you have had you not been involved with Halo LAN events, right? If you weren't there, you don't have that much experience. This is one of the best ways to get your foot in the door and start that experience. And like you said, there's something for every major to be involved with. Even if it doesn't use your major, some skill you have can be put to use here. So,
yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. And we have a huge diversity of majors with over 450 students in Discord and participating. I mean, there's obviously a spot for everybody. So this is kind of your guys' opportunity. Just like Raleigh said, get in, get involved, become a part of the community that we've built here, because we are not only a competitive club, not only a great content community, we are a community of students. And if you've ever been here, especially last semester at the Rocket League championship game, I mean, that was electric. Felt like a homecoming football game, man. It was awesome.
Dude, it really did.
The championships this year, they were fantastic.
A little scuffed, but not on our problems. So, it happens.
Still incredible.
Yeah, it was still awesome.
If you guys do want to get involved, be sure to join our Discord. Reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help you get involved. Find something that you like to do in the program. Something that hopefully relates to your major, or do something to help you that will build your resume. So
for sure,
be sure to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, I mean, we just want to thank you guys, because this is not possible without us. As much as Raleigh does, he doesn't compare to what you guys contribute to this club.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
The community, it doesn't operate without without the community. I mean, we have 450 students, and we wouldn't have a new arena. We wouldn't have discussions like that. Well, arena, but I mean this arena.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't have those things without the discussion there. We wouldn't have the possibility for endowments. We wouldn't have the possibility for all these seats that Raleigh's sowing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be transitioning without the community. So
For sure. I mean, all my efforts don't go anything if there's no interest and there's no response, right?
Yep.
You know, I know there's a point where, man, I was pinging for a lot of forms, but like, that was so. You guys don't realize how pivotal that was in my ability to do things and to like ask for things when I could have data to be like, look, I have this many students that are so hyped for this. Let me do it. It was the easiest yes I've ever gotten, right? But like, that's the thing is like moving forward, like you're gonna have to like give your input, give your response, like count as a number, like raise your hand to something if we need to count for something, you know. And so like like there was no effort on my side without the interest initially and without the students constantly giving me that feedback of like, hey, we really like this, we don't like this. That's how it gets better, is just being involved. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys. As my my parting thing, essentially done in 3 weeks kind of thing, but I've definitely enjoyed my time here. It's been a completely new thing. If you guys remember at the start, I literally had played Fortnite and that was it. And so I like to say I've developed quite a bit.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, honestly,
Thank
right?
goodness.
Now you're a full-fledged gamer.
Shout out to all the people who played new games with me. You know, the Overwatch team teaching me Overwatch, the League kids teaching me League.
AKA shout out all the people that carried him all the way.
Literally,
Yeah.
all my carries.
Carries.
Shout out to carries. But for real, that helped me, really develop the program, really understand what you guys needed on each game basis. All the events put on, literally all the volunteers. It just pains me how, when I look back on how many people had to volunteer just to keep the doors open and the lights on, like that was like so much to ask for, but like people stepped up and did it until we got to a self-sustaining point. And so shout out to those people, the people putting in the effort, the hours, the long hours kind of thing. So huge shout out to you guys. Obviously you're here because this is your community. This is something you enjoy. And not only that, but everybody here is sowing seeds that they will not see the benefits of, right? Especially me, especially you guys. I will not get to see the huge benefits that come in the next year, right? I will not get to see the scholarships come in. I won't get to see this and this come in, right? And so everybody that's been in the club or has been in the club at some point has done that because it's only going to get better from here. And it's such a new start that we have to like baby it and nurture it up into that point. So huge thank you to those people with that mentality moving forward. I hope you guys keep that up with the student management, and with the new staff. I hope you guys give them the same amount of effort you guys gave me, even more, call them to new heights. But yeah, thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, unless we've got anything else we want to throw out there.
No, I think that's awesome. I think, hopefully if you didn't hear one thing from this, I hope it's, just get locked in somewhere, put some effort in. It doesn't grow without you guys, but it's growing for you guys too in the same hand.
Absolutely. So ultimately, thank you guys. Get involved, show up and show out. This is Corey, Raleigh, Zach, and Luke signing off for the rest of the semester. And they maybe not. Maybe probably.
Little surprise.
Yeah,
We
probably.
might have an award ceremony. We don't know if we'll do that in person or on the trip. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But thank you guys, all you gamers and goons out there. We appreciate you, and you have a good day.
See you guys.
Yeah.